What's going on, everybody? Yeah. We got the 303. We got some OpXY. Yeah, and today in the stream we are going to talk about how this thing actually gets programmed, right? Because it's a very unique box, to say the least. And when I first encountered one, I was a very young human. I think I don't know if I was 15 the first time I saw a 303. I was surprised. It was the Roland one. It was a long time ago, which would make me I probably saw it in like 92 or 1990, somewhere right around there. My first piece of gear was the MC303, which is nothing like this. And the idea that with a 303, you basically have a certain amount of programs, and there's 8 of them. And you have those 8 within 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. So you can save 8 times 4, which is 32 different patterns. And you actually have an A and a B section, which would make it 64, right? So when you first get one, it's a little frustrating because you think it's going to be this awesome musical journey in programming amazing bass lines, which it is, but it's not the exact way that you think, right? And so what I tell everybody is when you go to program your 303 for the first time, you want to pick a pattern. We're going to pick number 8, and I'm going to hit clear so that when I hit start, you actually hear there is no pattern playing, right? So I first tell people to go to time mode, which is over here. And within time mode is how you program the notes that you're going to use in your sequence. So right now we were playing in C minor. So I could just hit, how many steps I want, right? And it's going to be step versus rest, right? So your rest is here, your step is here. And basically that's what you do the whole time. So you count. You're like 1, 2, rest, 4, 5, 6, rest, 8, 9, 10, rest, 11, 12, 13, rest, 14. Okay, so you program all your notes in as far as the rest or if it's going to hit or if it's going to pause. And that's what you do in the time mode. And then I go to pitch and I pick the pitches I want. So if we were in the key of C minor, E flat major, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay, so those are our 16 notes. And if I hit play, there would be no accent, no slide, and no octave up and down. So that's the most basic way to program with no feeling in your bass line. And that was time mode. You do 16 different presses. And you do pitch mode, and you pick the 16 pitches. Now what I do is I go back to pitch mode, and I use the next right. So the first note, I'm going to go octave down. Second note, I'm going to accent and slide. Third note was a pause, so I'm not going to hit anything. I'm going to go down. Fourth note, fifth note, up. Sixth note, accent slide. Seventh note, eighth note, 9, 10, accent. 11, slide. 12, 13, 14, accent slide. 15, 16. That's it. So now, instead of it being lifeless, you can hear on the accent notes, it kind of thumps a little more. Right? Okay, and we picked C minor, so if I did... And I know this, I'm going to just do. Hear how it sounds off? Kind of weird, right? So let's reprogram it. All right, how did we do that? We hit clear and we pick number 8, and now we're going to do it again. So I'm going to say time mode, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, rest, 1, 2, 3, rest, 1, 2, 3, rest. That's 16, right? Pitch mode. Now I'm going to pick my notes. 1, 2, 3, rest, 3, rest, 1, 2, 3, rest. All right, so those are my notes. And now let's see what it sounds like. So super simple, right? And now we're going to add our accents and our, so the first note, I'm going to say start, accent slide. No, not slide. We'll do accent. Now we'll do accent slide. Every fourth note is like a pause, so you got to kind of remember that you're not going to do anything on the fourth note. Yep, and there they are. Let's see what happens now. I mean, it's just that magic sound of techno, right? And then once you get a bass line going with it, typically I tell people you want delay or reverb and a little bit of distortion, right? Now, in this unit, we're going to look at making a little bit of stuff over top of it. And we'll see how this guy gets buried in the mix. So, you ready? So now, let's see. All right, and then we're getting ready. We're gonna do our next chord. 2, 3, 4. Once it's in the mix too, it always has that magic sound, right? Hear it kind of dipping. Now, the other thing that a lot of people have done throughout time is they actually put distortion on the 303. You can hear the growl in it. Okay, now, in the start here, what I was kind of showing everybody was definitely what happens with the saw wave, because that is like the more classic sound of the 303. So I kind of always remind people that there are like classic sounds of it. Of course, the whole idea of turn the distortion off so you can hear what I'm talking about. But the square has a definitively different sound, right? And throughout time, using the 303, the square seems to not make makes it talk. It's a little more mellow. Like, so I would say the acid sound is definitely the saw wave, but when using it, I think the square has a friendlier sound. Is that? I don't know if that's true, but I like the sound of the square. It's kind of cool, right? Right. I keep trying to turn it up because it's not really. But that's pretty cranked in my studio. I mean, I can't get it much louder. So I would say, yeah, as you're listening, hopefully this is giving you some good ideas of what the 303 sounds like. In pitch mode, you can cheat and use it like a keyboard, right? Again, clear number 8. And again, I'll show you guys how to redo another mode. Now, a lot of the new ones have this random function, which makes, my opinion, some garbage patterns, right? So I never do that. But I like to really get weird with time mode when I'm like 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, right? And then just do a bunch of stuff. As long as it's 16. Right? And then you add your accents and slides later. And octave up and down. Yep, and then the pattern. And then let's hear that with drums. Right, so hopefully you're seeing how easy the 303 is. With other software, I'm sure there's ways to program it differently. You know, there's definitely software for this one, like a software editor. I just prefer the old school. And that was another one I programmed earlier in C minor. switch it back to saw. Like I said, a little more aggressive. The range in the 303, you know that's the reason why it's been so good for so long. Hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the stream. Hopefully you got to see the 303 in action. And yeah, you could see all my crappy patterns. I love using this thing. I've been using it for years. Depending on what iteration, you know, I've used it in modular. I've used it in my breakbeats. I've used it in my techno. I feel like this thing kind of fits in a lot of great places. And hopefully you got to see and hear some of the great sounds that it makes. and you got to see how I programmed it. I think mine's pretty blank, as you can see here. Yeah, just the patterns I had programmed with you guys. The box itself is not very big. This rendition was about $120. They are extremely cheap now, so having it is not that tough. And when people would ask me, like, why do you use this with the sequencer that's internal? It's because I want to use the envelope and the decay. So what I tell everybody is when you trigger with MIDI, not with the actual sequencer that's internal, you lose the envelope generator here and you lose the accent and slide, unless that's on the other sequencer. So I think what makes this device so special is how the sequencer works and how it's so primitive that it seems to give me inspiration and help me stay in the zone. So I would say to anybody that's using a 303, a lot of fun. It's a ton of fun to use it. It's a pain in the ass at first. I'm going to show you one more time, and then I'm going to get off the stream. So the way that I program my 303 is I go to a blank, and I hit clear. And then I go to time mode. So go to time mode first, and you're telling it what steps and what rests are you going to do first. So you count, like 1, 2, rest, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so it'll tell you that that's the 16th step because it can only fit 16. Then you go and you touch 16 notes. So we're going to do D minor this time. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now, it will not tell you when you're done there. And then... And that was what I programmed, right? Now, what I say next is go back to pitch mode and add your octave up or octave down and your accents and slide. And this is the most important part of the 303. So when you're doing this, you're just like first step, down, second step, third step, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 11th, 12th, 13, 14, 15, 16. And that's it. You should know you're at the last one because there won't be any more steps. And then... and it's because we added the accents and slides. I swear. And let's hear that now with a beat. I hope everybody's having a good start to the week. It's Monday. It's May 3rd. It's 303 day. I hope you're going to go make some music and get inspired. I hope you're going to enjoy the day. I hope you're enjoying life. Because it's the only one we got right now, right? So you got to enjoy it. And, have fun, make music, do things that make you enjoy life. Because I'll tell you what I've noticed with my 303 and my teenage engineering stuff, and I actually don't care what anybody says about some of the brands that I use, because if I cared, I would never get anything done. And I get it, I buy cheap gear sometimes, but it helps me get shit done, right? And I would say I do buy expensive gear too, .com, If you've seen the stream before, you know what goes on here, so comment, tell me what's going on. If you got any questions, let me know. Everybody enjoy Monday. I'm going to jam us out. like I said, everybody have a good 303 day. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. If you got any questions, comments, let me know. Hopefully you learned how to use the 303. Hopefully you go show your friends how to use it, right?